Let's check in now with Jordan Wilkerson. Just look at the top things you'll want to know at this hour.
Now, while the worst of what's now Tropical Storm Ian batters the East Coast and the first coast of Florida, we are seeing some incredible images out of Southwest Florida where Ian made landfall just under 24 hours ago. We start with aerials from the Coast Guard flying over the damage. I mean, just take a look at this. Millions of people in the area have lost power, and the damage is easily going to be in the tens of billions of dollar range. Now let's turn to our attention on specifically to Sanibel Island. A lot of you, I'm sure, have vacationed there. It's a popular place to collect shells, a beautiful place. But just look at the damage. This is the main beach highway between Sanibel and Captiva, and you can see the bridge off in the distance. It's still holding firm, but much of the roads are destroyed. And now this video gives us an even better understanding of the damage of on Sanibel. For reference, landfall was just a few miles north of here. You can see entire sections of the street flipped on its side. Unbelievable. The roadway is in pieces, and so too are parts of the bridge. Really just incredible, unbelievable images. But let's send things over right now to meteorologist Mike Prangley. Mike, this storm, one of the strongest to ever make landfall in the United States, definitely in Southwest Florida, but thankfully weakening to a tropical storm this morning. What are you seeing out there now?
Hey, thank you, Jordan. And yes, out there right now, we've got Ian as a strong tropical storm. It weakened over land and basically a lot of dry air wrapped in toward its center. So it weakened double. And now as it moves over the warm Atlantic, it's going to get its energy source and it's going to get its act back together. In fact, at least a Category 1 hurricane as it makes a move toward Charleston. So if you have family, friends in Charleston, that's the next area of concern for possible hurricane conditions as we head into, or tomorrow morning. Okay, so this is going to be moving up pretty quickly. And for us, that means we're going to see things start to change for the better, especially by later on tonight and Friday. Okay, so for us, we're watching Tropical Storm Ian, winds of 70 miles per hour. Even though you see a Category 1 off our coastline, that's a good 100 miles or so, and that will keep the biggest winds and the wind gusts and the heaviest rain offshore. So we are not going to see the hurricane conditions. We will stay with that tropical storm warning. In fact, some of the heaviest rains from this system are coming through right now this afternoon. So keep that in mind. If you can stay patient, stay smart, we are here to keep you safe for sure. And we zoom into Tropical Storm Ian now, moving north-northeast at 9, and the pressure at 987 millibars as it makes that move off into the ocean. Now we take a look at our wind gusts, and that's been a problem all day, and it'll still be an issue even into tonight, overnight, and even some gusty winds, I think, tomorrow as well. Even though Ian will be moving up into the Carolinas, just a huge wind field. And again, it's re-strengthening, right? So gusty winds likely back in the forecast tomorrow, but not pushing all of the water toward the coastline like we're seeing right now. So the flood threat would diminish tomorrow, especially along the intercoastal waterway and at the beaches like we're seeing right now. But we do have to pass this along. We've got that flash flood warning. I believe we were the first to show you. We had Lou out there, Renata, with the water coming up. Telling folks to get to the higher ground, and the Weather Service has that flash flood warning in effect until 3:15 p.m. and there are some more heavy bands of rain right now, and that high tide officially coming in here over the next hour. As we track Ian, you can see we've got that going on the right side there. Here's our flash flood warning for St. Johns County until 3:15. And as we're going through the afternoon, some more heavy bands of rain will likely move our way. And then for tonight, as Ian pivots and moves east of us and then to the north, the winds will switch to the north and northwest. That's important because that means the heaviest of the rains will be over, and also the tides, the worst of the tides that we're seeing right now. So really this could be the highest. We'll see the water throughout the duration of Ian having its impact on our area. Okay, so as we take a look at the very latest here, radar still lighting up in most of the area. Okay, we're having some occasional heavy bands of rain, and then as we go into areas north of St. Augustine into the northwest, it's not so bad, and that's really helped us here during this high tide cycle across the first coast. As we take a look at the big picture, let's take a look at that heavy rain band, verifying that on radar. We've got St. Augustine, Palm Coast, Palaca with the bright coloring and banding, showing us why they're seeing most of the rain. Some areas up to 8 inches now near St. Augustine, but by the time you get into Bay Meadows, Mandarin, most of the rainfall totals closer to the 1 to 2 inch range is what I'm seeing. Wind gusts, look at that, 71 miles per hour in Daytona, but we're seeing more of a north wind rather than a northeast wind develop, and that's why this high tide cycle, likely the worst this storm will have to offer. And then if you go inland, we've got the wind gusts coming down a bit. So we will continue to watch the storm carefully here on radar, and we're watching again the high tide very closely over the next hour. And of course, we've got a whole team here to keep you and your family safe.